as co-chair of the All-Party Parliamentary Group, Cycling and Walking, alongside Fabian Hamilton, who unfortunately can't be here today. He's in more exotic locations of Brazil, I understand. I know that cross-party, we want to achieve more focus and more funding for active travel, and we will both be beating the drum for this within our own parties. On my side, I think it's important to note that the government has spent more than any other on record on active travel, with £3 billion due for this Parliament. It's important that active travel gets its fair share of funding going forward. Another positive is that Active Travel England are now thoroughly embedded in all funding pots, including city, region, sustainable transport settlements. Levelling up funding, towns funds, etc. Many levelling up bids were for active travel measures. Gear change is still very much an important document. It was referenced in the House of Commons a month or so ago as one of the most important health interventions a government can make. We have a great minister who gets this in Guy Ockman, and I look forward to hearing from him soon. And this APPG continues to do important work, which was started with Ruth, who I can see lurking around, who we miss very much as working with us so closely. But thank you again for all you did, Ruth, to really work to raise the profile of cycling, walking and wheeling within Westminster and beyond. We are cross-party and we work best when we do it together, tackling some of those challenging but essential issues such as road safety and road justice. And no, I still don't know why my question wasn't answered by the Home Office on Monday's questions, but I am pursuing it with the Home Secretary for anyone else who wonders why I vanished from the order paper. This event focuses on the positivity of active travel and features organisations who work to improve access to low-cost and environmentally friendly transport options. Please engage whilst you're here. If you haven't had a chance to say hello to everybody, there's some really exciting ways of getting around in the room, and find out about all the important work that's going on to help more people enjoy active travel. But right now, I am going to hand over to the Shadow Minister, Simon Lightwood.
Good afternoon, everyone. How are you all doing?
Good.
Quite wake up. It's an exciting event. It's great to see everyone here today. I'm Simon Lightwood. For those of you that don't know me already, if I've already met you, I'm sure you're in the diary or will be soon. I've got the privilege of being Labour's Shadow Minister for Local Transport, which also covers active travel, and it's a real honour to be here this afternoon for your annual showcase. I'd like to thank obviously the APPG and all its officers for all its hard work that it continues to do year round. The organisations and charities in this room with us today really do showcase the best of the sector, and I want to pay tribute to each and every one of you. Labour absolutely recognises the huge importance of active travel and the crucial role that it plays in the fabric of our towns, cities and villages. It's that social fabric woven together by high quality transport options that transforms communities into hubs of prosperity, opportunity and quality of life. And transforming our towns and cities absolutely includes active travel, but it also crucially involves integration of those active travel options with other travel modes. Reliable, affordable and regular public transport is the difference between opportunity and isolation for millions of people across the country. Seamless transport systems are about making it easy as possible to get around and get on. We know that high quality, reliable local bus networks, access to modern rail links and integration throughout, with excellent active travel routes, can transform urban areas into hives of productivity and drive up living standards for everyone. That integration is front and centre of Labour's flagship plans to give every local transport authority more powers over their local transport system. And I was very proud to be in Birmingham 2 weeks ago to launch those plans alongside our Shadow Secretary of State for Transport, Louise Haigh, and with our fantastic candidate for West Midlands Mayor, Richard Parker. Labour in government's overriding mission across all departments will be that single guiding focus that Keir Starmer has set out: economic growth. Public transport is front and centre of securing and facilitating that, not just the investment and new upgrades that bring jobs, but the social and economic mobility that high quality transport can bring to all communities across the UK. Labour will use all the levers across government to encourage more people to walk and cycle wherever possible by supporting local authorities to provide safe, accessible infrastructure, making active travel as attractive a choice for everyone. And as we reform outdated planning laws, we'll deliver infrastructure faster and make it easier for local transport authorities to integrate different modes into a cohesive system. We've already seen a taste of what is possible under a Labour government in areas like our fantastic Mayor Andy Burnham and the B network, where we've got bus, suburban rail and cycling infrastructure seamlessly integrated into a cohesive system, with modes and timetables complementing each other to revolutionise mobility across the city region. This integration and joined-up thinking is essential in areas dominated by car dependence to relieve congestion, decrease air pollution and improve the look and feel of our urban realm. We must improve our local transport systems. And active travel can and must play a central role in that vision. I know from my own conversations with many of the stakeholders joining us today in this room that we're brimming with potential to work with the next Labour government to make huge progress on embedding active travel across our towns and cities. The scale of what we can achieve on active travel is one of the most exciting parts of my job as the Shadow Minister responsible, not just for active travel, but for a whole range of transport sectors. So once again, I'd like to thank sincerely the APPG, its chairs and co-chairs, and to thank all of you, the fantastic stakeholders, for everything that you do and whatever political affiliation that you are. I sincerely look forward to continuing to work with as many of you as possible on Labour's vision on such an important area as active travel. Thank you.
So, my name's Guy Ottman. I had a very eloquent prepared speech, but I'm going to try and speak to you, I hope, more eloquently from the heart. So, I asked to do this job. And I took a demotion specifically to do this particular job. And I only had one request when I went to the Department for Transport, which was that the active travel brief should be integrated with the other parts of the brief that are in existence in the DFT portfolio. And I follow in the illustrious footsteps of Jessie Norman and the amazing Minister Harrison, who is lurking in the room I see in the back there, because I believe what we are on is a journey. And it is a journey from a situation where, for those of us who cycled 5, 10, 15, 20 years ago, the infrastructure and the opportunity was minimal, is the practical reality. And we look at where Holland is, and we look at where some other countries, and particularly some metropolitan areas are, and we think that is the destination we want to go, right? And the journey that we're on is a destination to that type of environment, to that type of world. And I genuinely believe that everybody in this room is motivated by the same desire to get to that ultimate destination. And that's what we need to focus on. So, I could talk to you about the funding that we're doing, but I think on the funding thing, the one other thing I want to try and focus on is this, which is, you can focus very much on the active travel budget, all right, or the bikeability budget. I see certain people here who've done an amazing job on bikeability. But I'd like to look at the mayoral budgets. Mayoral budgets, the funding that is going in under the City Regional Sustainable Transport Schemes, number 1 and number 2, is just off the charts. The decision on HS2 has transformed that funding. The local transport funding announcement, I've got some local authorities that their transport budget has increased 9 times. For some local authorities, that is transformational stuff. So the vision I have for active travel in England is very much, as I sat down with Danny Williams and Chris Baldwin, we went for a bike ride and then we had a coffee, is to try and take what they're doing on their own, but also to harness their great abilities and their technical know-how and teach the local authorities and the mayors how it is that they can implement that on the ground. And that, in my view, is amazing. Now, it's traditional at these sort of things that you're asked to cite some key politician, whether it is Attlee or Thatcher, who is driving you forward and giving you moral guidance. So I'm going to go slightly left field and say that I'm taking moral guidance from Ted Lasso. And Ted Lasso via Walt Whitman, obviously, because in the famous scene where he's playing darts, he invites the audience to be curious, not judgmental. And the reason about that is, it is the effort and the attainability of an ultimate goal in circumstances where it is the journey that you're on and the destination that matters, not the actual direction of that journey. And I would respectfully invite you that everybody in this room is actually on the same side. Doesn't matter about your politics, we are all utterly committed to seeing a greater amount of cycling, a greater amount of bikeability, and a greater opportunities for our kids and all of us to cycle to work, to have active travel as part of our leisure portfolio. And I think that is something that is going to happen. There is game-changing amounts of funding in a variety of different streams. We've got to harness that, and there is a job to be done to bring the expertise of active travel and make sure that the local authorities have the capability, which in some cases they clearly don't, to actually be able to drive this forward and make sure that that has direct implications on the ground and to integrate it into all the other forms of transport, whether that is the bus network, the wider public transport, or whether that is integration with the driver of a vehicle. That, I believe, is genuinely possible. I didn't cycle to work this morning, partly because we had a 1 a.m. finish and I was got up at 6 a.m. by my small child, and I definitely didn't feel like I'd be safe on a bicycle. But I am able to say that on Monday I went cycling with Chris Boardman, and that is a definite plus for this particular job. And it is a really great thing that you are going to work with your heroes. So I just ask you to be curious, not judgmental, channel your inner Ted Lasso, and I genuinely believe our better days lie ahead. And I finish on this. It's not often that Robert Browning is quoted in the House of Commons or in respect of active travel, but Browning was very famous because he said, "Your reach should exceed your grasp, or what else is a man or woman for?" And our reach can exceed our grasp. Let's all do this together. Thank you.